As we continue to look at censorship overseas, we had another video we was discussing about France on some of the situation they're doing to basically you'll have to use a digital certificate to identify yourself just to get onto adult content sites, including porn. Now, what we're seeing, and we said this before in the United Kingdom is going to be one of the biggest hubs for internet censorship. It's already about there. It is already about there. I mean, freedom of speech in the United Kingdom is going to be a thing of the past. I mean, really. I mean, you've had about, what was it this past, just in the past month or so, you had people who were standing in front of a abortion clinic just praying. One was a priest. All of them have been arrested. Two of them have been charged and found guilty for quietly praying, not talking to anybody, not saying to anybody, just praying. Thought police. Remember that, thought police. Well, you're going to have more of the thought police and censorship going on, and because they're switching their gears. And I said this before, pornography is not the only thing they're going to focus on. They're going to move across the board on everything. UK now is going to be tackling gaming next. And it's going to be with the help of UBISOFT. And what's going to happen is you're probably going to have to be, if you live in the UK, you're going to have to be very careful what you say in a gaming room, because they could come and arrest you probably on there. But before we read this off the BBC, thank you again for those who have subscribed, like, share. We're almost there. We're getting there to 700. Hopefully we get there soon. We're about 60 to go on there. So once again, we'll do this quickly. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. And for those of you who've just clicked on this video who haven't yet, hopefully today's the day I earned your subscription. From the BBC News, toxic gaming tackled by Ubisoft unique police alert system. Rape jokes, racism, bully. If you've picked up a controller or scrolled across a mouse to dabble in some of the online gaming, then you've likely come across plenty. The gaming industry, like others where people interact online, have been trying to figure out how to get to grips with the behavior like this for years. Ubisoft, the makers of franchises like Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, has now signed a first-of-its-kind deal with the police to try to tackle the issue for its players. The hope is for this agreement to start with a conversation within the industry and see others follow suit. Online gaming is a joyful experience for millions of people every day. It is the space where friendships are forged, memorable experience shared during the pandemic. Online games were a savior for many people's mental health. However, its dark side is plain to see. Abusive behavior, death threats, and grooming can be found in online game spaces. We want to be on the right side of history, says Damien Glorious, excuse me if I said that wrong, a senior director of the Newcastle-based Ubisoft Customer Relations Center. It's here and for the locations around the world that the staff monitor how players of Ubisoft games are getting on, responding to the requests for help, and actively getting involved with the communities that evolved around their titles. They deal with everything from purchasing issues to online toxicity. Other companies have had similar setups, but what's unique here is the involvement of local law enforcement. The deal between the company and Northumbria Police is in two parts. First, it's a specialist officer that shares the knowledge and expertise on harmful online interaction with 200-strong team working in the center in Newcastle who are applying that training to their daily work. Secondly, is an agreement in place so that in extreme cases where there is a threat to life or potential serious harm spotted, staff can track the information to the police. Then they will decide whether to act or not. Gloria explains that to the BBC, we have millions of players and tens of millions of interactions. So how do we spot incidents? It is a daunting, but at the same time, very important, which is why we wanted to sign this deal and make things right. We want to focus on the most extreme cases, make sure to do right thing because it gives us a solid foundation to build the rest of our work around. Less than 0.01% of the cases that center deals with end up requiring police intervention. That works out roughly as a handful of cases a month. Most of the time, the accounts will be temporarily banned or permanently closed if players have breached code of conduct. And that's the way it should be handled. Yeah, you're going to get guys that basically they're going to be pissed off if they lost and stuff like that. They're going to call you names and stuff like that. And you want to hear the funny part is, most of the time these are little kids. All you got to do is hit a Call of Duty chat room, and you'll hear it all the time. Modern Warfare, any of those. A lot of these guys that said that they can handle a chat room like that. I keep my mic off, but I hear some of the shit that goes on in these chat rooms. Yeah, some of them are like freaking out of this world. And guess what I do? I turn off their mic. I don't listen to them. And that's what everybody else does. Just don't listen to them. They can scream all they want. When people are not paying attention to them, they'll stop doing it. Staff in Newcastle also recommend the company start legal proceedings in some instances. See, this is where it comes in. Who decides what it should be diverted to the police? We've seen this in New Zealand, where the cops have come to the door of people that basically have said something online that the government did not like, and arrested families, arrested mothers and fathers, pregnant women. Andrew Holliday and his team deal with the cases that get close to reach threshold for police intervention. This ain't just a gaming problem, it's an internet problem, he begins. There's a real appetite to make the whole ecosystem a better place. See what I mean? What we're working on closely with the police is trialing, where we look at the cases and decide, right is the one we can deal with in-house, or is this something we need to pass on? Gaming is global, and some of the cases by staff here cross national borders. Holiday tells us about the recent case in Norway, saying things were said and behaviors displayed that hit our thresholds for intervention. There was a threat to life or serious harm. The agreement with the Northumberland police meant that we could flag it even if we thought it wasn't a UK citizen. Aha! They were able to get Norwegian authorities involved. It was a lot quicker, more efficient, and safer than to try to do as a private citizen. Some of the staff here argued that the games industry has shielded away from talking about the reality of online play for too long. They say it needs to be more open and proactive in talking about steps being taken to tackle unpleasant dangers or threatening behavior. For Northumbria Police Chief Superintendent Deborah Olson, who has been leading the work with Ubisoft on this agreement, she argues that policy is about prioritizing protecting the vulnerable. That means all of our communities, not just the ones we see in person, but our online communities as well, she adds. Policy changes continues demanding involvement, and while we have different challenges all the time, our job is to evolve with it. But see, the thing is, one thing that's not mentioned here, and you can read the rest of it, and it's just basically them talking about the working together on there. They don't talk about the basics that, finding the people that swat gamers. Because you're not going to know that they're swatting you until the swatting happens. See, the thing about it is that, they say, well, this person got swatted, that person got swatted. But the thing about it is that unless you trace this back properly, you're not going to find a guy. You've already seen several people go to jail for this. You have seen people die for this. Yeah, that's the harsh part of the reality in the online gaming. But words are words on there. And most people online are just talk, as they say. You know, they talk through their ass. And like I said before, a lot of these are kids. And we're talking young kids. The thing about it is, and I think this is where, and it's not going to really work, but there should be a separation for the younger kids. If the younger kids are, if the adults want the kids to play something like a Call of Duty, something like that, that's, you know, let them sign off on that. But kids should be in their own space, you know, playing with others like themselves, not with adults. And I know that it is it's a tough issue to do. I mean, we already see over on YouTube, YouTube Kids, you know, all the shit that goes on down there that, you know, it's supposed to be for kids. But meanwhile, they are showing LGBTQ videos over there that should not even be there. That technically it is a violation of YouTube Kids. You're talking about sexuality. That should not be there. Okay? It's nothing against the LGBTQ community. You should not be talking sex around kids. How easy is that? Whether it's straight or whether it's gay. Either way, they should not be hearing this stuff. And the thing about it is, it's also the parents' situation. You know, here's more things. You're taking more things away from the parents. Parents have to be parents. They're parenting. That's what it's called, parenting. You know, you've heard situations, you've heard the videos where the parents have yelled at the kids, "What are you doing? Why are you still up?" You know, get these kids to bed. You know, a lot of these players are playing overnight. Why are these kids still awake overnight? You know, kids that are in grammar schools should be in bed by 8, 9 o'clock the latest. They need their hours of sleep. And the thing about it is, you know, if they want to play a bit, you know, give them an hour or two a night and a little bit more on the weekends. That's plain and simple. You know, good eye coordination, you know, gaming does give good eye coordination, but, you know, they still got to do their homework. They still, you know, need to play outside, not only inside. You know, you have friends and stuff like that. Go to the park, play in the playground, play some baseball or some football or volleyball, any game, you know, hopscotch for the girls. And, you know, you see a lot of kids not doing this anymore. You know, and the parents need to get the kids out of the house. That's the other half. That's parenting. That's how you reduce a lot of this stuff. You don't put the stuff toward the police. These are not terrorists. Okay? You're turning kids into criminals because of some of the words they say. Yes, they shouldn't be saying it, plain and simple. But hey, listen, telling the parent, hey, suspend the account. Suspend the account. That's all you gotta do. Kids are going to yell to mom, why was it suspended? I said something bad. Then, well, then you got to wait till the suspension is over. You don't play with it until it's done. You know. So comment below. Tell me your thoughts on this, because this is headed in a dangerous direction. You're involving law enforcement for what people say online. This is happening, and this is a sad event that's happening in the United Kingdom, and they're trying to branch it out to everywhere else. Hey, guess what? This all leads back to the World Economic Forum. Remember that. So comment, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.